All right, welcome to session A, page 7. We are in the middle of assembling this sequence. And so I want you just to be sure you're clicked on with the selection tool. So we don't want to be using rate stretch or anything. Be sure you're clicked on that eyes clip and then just press the down arrow. As you go through the clips, notice it goes to the end of each clip. So we're pressing that down arrow. Now that we're at the end of the eyes clip, we are ready to bring in another video file. So we're going to come back over to the project window at the left. Now be sure you click once because we have 3 things selected over there. We don't want any of them to be selected. Okay. This time, and I'm just showing you various ways to get things from the project window to the timeline. So like you could do any of these ways, just showing you different ways to do it. So we're going to bring in the glass ball. And notice underneath it, it tells you it's 13 seconds and 29 frames long. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this in and put it right next to that eyes clip. So again, we want that playhead right there so we can snap it in. All right. So as we pull this in, it snaps right to it. But what you're going to notice this time is we have 2 lines. We have a video and we have an audio, which was placed automatically on audio 1. Well, as we said before, we don't want any audio. So what we're going to do is on the video clip, right click, and you're going to go to unlink. Now that's going to unlink the audio from the video, and then we can delete the audio. But if we press delete right now, we're going to delete both the video and the audio. So you need to click off of it first, so nothing's clicked on, and then click on the audio file and just simply press delete on your keyboard, or you can right click and go to clear. Whichever makes you happy. I'm really more of a keyboard person. So we've done that. We've gotten that taken care of. We've deleted it. Now we're going to go to the 17-second mark. We only want 3 seconds of this clip, so we're going to go hop over here to 17 seconds, and you want to hit that right on the nose. And then at this point, we could just pull in the edge. I've showed you how to do that, but I want to show you a different way, which is using what's called the razor tool. Now, to switch to the razor tool, just press C on your keyboard. You can also hit the button, but let's use a keyboard shortcut. Press C, and then notice if you point to that part of your playhead, you're going to see a razor blade pop up. So we're going to do that. We're going to click on that playhead blue line right there, and then notice what it did is it snapped it into 2. If you move your playhead over, you can see it's now 2 separate pieces. Okay, switch back to your selection tool. That's V on your keyboard. Again, I'm a keyboard junkie. And then now we can click on that second segment, and then we can just press delete. Now, the cut tool is good to know because maybe you have 2 chunks that you do want to use in the project, but just not at the same time. So I could just drag that other piece over until I needed it as well. So you could just cut longer segments into little pieces that way using that razor tool. Okay, so right now we should have a 17-second long video. Notice it says that up in the right of the program monitor. So that's how we know. All right, now we're going to add the next few pieces by using the source monitor again, back to the man, okay? So for this one, we're going to double click on birds. So I'm going to find the one called birds, give that a click, and then double click, and it will open in the left monitor, which is the source monitor. So this is the pre-edit monitor. We only want 2 seconds. We'll just take the first 2 seconds of this. So we'll start at the beginning and just scroll over to the 2-second mark. If you don't give it an end point, it just uses the beginning of the project or the video clip. So I'm just going to give it an out point. You could press O or hit the mark out button. So see now it has a 2-second bit. That's the first 2 seconds. So we're good to go. I want to drag the video only to the 17-second mark. Now I'm not there. So I'm going to come click on my timeline, press my down arrow to get to the end of the clip. And then now I can take video only, that little video only icon, and drop this right next to it. So we've got the birds right next to it. Okay, I'm going to hit my down arrow again so that I'm at the 19-second mark. And then we're going to come back over and we're going to find the flowers video. So we're going to scroll down and find flowers, double click it to open in the source monitor. And then here we are going to bring in 3 seconds. So again, I'm just going to scroll over. We'll take the first 3 seconds. It's pretty random. Just generic footage anyway. So I'm going to put an out point in. So I only have 3 seconds. And I'm going to drag this in right next to birds. Okay, so overall now we have a 22-second project. I'm going to go ahead and file save or Control S to save. Now, one of the things that I want you to look at here is our flowers video it's actually not 1080p. It's actually smaller. So we're going to have to make that bigger. In order to make it fill the screen, you can simply right-click the clip and go to Set Frame Size. It's kind of above my head there, so you can't see it. Okay, set to frame size. And that's going to automatically make it fit in there. Oops. Not sure where mine went. I'm going to undo because I've made something mad. Okay, here we go. All right, right-click, set to frame size. Bam, there we go. No idea what happened there, but, you know, computers. Okay, so we've got it set to the frame size. It fills the screen just like the others. Now, you don't want to do that to a lot of clips because obviously the quality won't necessarily be as good if we're stretching the clip up. But, you know, sometimes that's all you have, right? So that's just what you have to use. Okay. If I click on the timeline here and press the Home button on the keyboard, Home will take us back to the very beginning of the project. Remember, you can press the spacebar key to play. So if we play it through now, you're going to see what we've got up to this point. Everything's nice and tidy and in order. And then we're going to be ready, of course, to move on to that next section here in just a moment. Now, one thing I do want to show you is right now our tracks, we can see like man and we can see all of these, but we can't see what they look like. And I personally like to be able to see what they look like. If you point over here, so over here where the V1 line is and all of that stuff, to the right of the eyeball, which by the way, the eyeball just toggles the visibility. To the right of the eyeball, double click and it makes your tracks taller. And when they're taller, you can see thumbnails of the tracks. So I kind of like to work in that view. You might want to work in that view. Kind of a nice little view because you can see what each of those items look like if you were to be playing the timeline. So there we go. Let's give it a save, and that completes page 7.